Welcome to Wins News. I'm your host and friend Amit Roy. Today I want to explain about Nikkei 225 and Mr. Modi's presence in G20 and in Japan, and how we're going to benefit from that, and how Indian stock markets are reacting, why Warren Buffett is buying Japanese stocks. Now, I liked a very interesting thing what Mr. Modi has said, that food supply. He has emphasis on food supply, global food supply, food chain. And I liked it actually. It will help Indian exports, India's commodity exports mainly. A lot of foodstuffs India can export to the world. And the world is facing food crisis a little bit. So due to Ukraine war, and it's a very nice thing. Uh, Anyway, but I didn't like, I'm sorry, I want to say one bad thing about Modi. I didn't like Modi garlanding Gandhi. It was a little eyesore for me. Modi's ideology is not pro Gandhi. However, he's using Gandhi, good Lord. Only thing cracked in my mind is Savarkar, the British agent. Anyway, let's forget those acrimonies, come to the business. Now, I want to say one thing. Look, Modi is hobnobbing with lots of Japanese and feeding Japanese PM golgappas, which we call fuchka in Bengali. I I don't know what Mr. Kishida would react to the golgappas. But it's interesting. I had golgappas also in Japan, in big restaurants. Anyway, my point is, Japan, you must understand Japan before feeding Japanese golgappas. Why Japanese business are little misunderstood? Because Japanese think always long term. Always long term. Americans and we Indians think about quarter business. Every quarter we get excited, we get depressed. But Japanese think long term, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Now people come to Toyota to see their projects and they get astonished seeing that they're thinking of 40 years ahead. That's Japanese. When you enter in Japan, you have to think long term. That's the plan. Now look, India is doing a lot of nice things also. Amazon is set to invest 13 billion in India very soon, before 2030. That's a very nice news. India is also exporting a lot of armaments, Russian origin armaments, to the to the African countries, low cost things. That's also an interesting thing. So this is the thing. Why Japanese now? Why I'm telling you all these things? Because India is coming up as a global superpower. It's growing at a very phenomenal pace, and it might overtake Germany and Japan before 2030. It's going in a very fast pace, and so India's future looking very good. A lot of infrastructural works are going and Japanese investing. Now I have noticed 2-3 things which I want to table in front of you. One is Nikkei 225 and topics. They are growing also in 225 index in Japan, to stock index in Japan. It's very interesting. It's all-time high because Japanese are changing their mindset. It's very interesting. Number one, look, now one is important, dollar-yen ratio. That's another thing. Now, secondly, why it's growing? Because Japanese companies are increasing their price, which they didn't for a long time. Japanese didn't want to, tax their people. They are very different, different mindset. There's a thing called face saving in Japan. You have to put a good face in Japan, and so they didn't increase the price for a very long time. That is there happening. Food prices are increasing, and commodity prices are increasing. Other things they are increasing, and they are transferring those high prices to the consumer. That's one interesting thing. That will affect their balance sheet. Number two, it was a totally deflation for a very long time. But now these are changing, you see. changing in a sense. They had some sort of inflation, little bit, and price index that was shot up, that is coming down, that is under control. They are not reaching the roof. That is a very interesting thing. That I liked. Number two, Premier Abe wanted that Japanese companies have a lot of cash, then that cash must be utilized. There should not be idle cash or properties. Well, so he wanted to have those in the economy. And that didn't work very well that time. But now exchanges are putting pressure on the companies that if you don't do this kind of thing, will not be able to stay in the exchange. So Japanese companies are forced to change their policies. That's very good news. And number three, the valuation, there is extremely cheap valuation. And Japan looks good, it looks stable for the time being. Except Chinese Communist Party's belligerence and pressure tactics put Japan into a corner. That's the only worry. Otherwise, though Japanese population is getting older, and they need other markets always. Now, under this backdrop, Warren Buffett is buying a lot of stocks in Japan from 20 to 2020. And Japanese trading companies, Marubeni, Mitsui, Sumitomo, Mitsubishi, Itochu, these kind of companies. And price to earning ratio is very low there. And when Warren Buffett buys, he thinks of long term. And he thinks about valuation. The P ratios are very low out here. The companies I mentioned. And they are the backbone of Japan. Now when Warren Buffett has set eyes on them, I am very confident that Japan will play a very important role. And Japanese market will keep on growing. So I am very hopeful about my stocks also. Now coming back to Indian stock market is doing very well. And now people are coming back to the stock market. Though American interest might go up. Interest rate, Fed would do something to improve interest rate. Hike the interest rate. So, but Indian stocks are doing very well, and most surprisingly, Indian companies balance sheet in this earnings season has shown very good result. Most of the companies. Look at when I see a State Bank has done very phenomenal thing. And all the companies, ITC, etc. These are the company, Astral, ITC, Birla, Ramco, SBI. So 83% increase in State Bank's profit. ITC has done phenomenally well. And it has declared dividend of special dividend. And almost nearly 10% they are giving 10 rupees per share they are giving dividend. And it's an interesting thing. Colgate, Hindustan Lever has given dividend also 23 rupees. And they will also give more next time. This is another dividend. So even you see a stock called Koku Camlin. After 20 Japanese company, Koku is a very important company. It has done a profit. So it has given 50 paisa dividend. It's not a big dividend, but it shows a turnover. After COVID, it was going into the big coma. It's coming back and it's giving. I was surprised. And so all the Japanese companies in India are doing well. And look, I come to the ITC question. You see, ITC is a terrific bet. And one should say invested, but its price got a little hampered because people expected that there will be unlocking of valuation because they will make the demerger of some of the sectors like hotel and etc. But that didn't happen. So price has come down. But many agencies have making a short-term target at 450. So ITC looks very bright for me. and I am a big supporter of ITC. So you can keep it for 10, 15 years. In my view, choice is yours. So these are the things, and I feel main thing Modi has achieved talking about business there. That is a good thing. And now let's see how it becomes fruitful, because the corridors, Mumbai Delhi corridor is very important. The bullet train is going, construction is going in a full swing, and but main thing, when Japanese will start importing from India, that is the time India will do lot very good thing. Japan needs India. Japan needs India, and these corridors are also help Japan India business grow. These are my humble submission. I am seeing more or less Japanese are liking Modi. I don't think he's a very likable person, but they are liking fantastic. It's good for me, good for my companies, my stocks. So as long it helps me, I am happy. But you see, he has played again with the currency, high value currency, 2000 rupee notes. He has done that. He is saying it's against black market, but I suspect it's against the next year election, and he wants to screw the opposition also. These are the things India faces, this dichotomy. Otherwise, I see India's future is very, very good. G20 meeting is going on very well. India is invited in G7 and so on. Thank you for patient hearing. And I guess if India's monsoon is good, India's stock market will reach a new high. And I am telling you one more thing. Nikkei 225 will reach 40,000 in 1.5 years. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Please like me and subscribe me. Best wishes. Thank you very much.